What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Friday's 10-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and our sponsor, Yahoo. Ryan, we're kind of in the midst of this 5-game slate here on Thursday. As we are recording this, we're about an hour and 20 minutes or so, a little less, from the late night hammer, Lakers, Utah, which I'm very overexposed to. I would say that. That's a weird thing to say out loud now that I've said that, but here we go. Ryan, how's your night going?
I have no idea. I have so much on the late night game, so I have no idea how tonight's going so far. I guess all right. I can't complain. I have a decent amount of Capella, but we'll see what happens in the second half of that game. I liked Harden to get it. He wasn't that highly owned. I thought Harden could definitely get some damage in. He started off the game hot. He was up to 25. And then has cooled off in this third quarter, unfortunately. But it's James Harden. He can get the job done. But, thankfully for Capella, it's working out all right. But Moses Brown is doing some damage as well at very heavily owned ownership, which I thought made sense to fall on a guy like him. But it's going to come down to the Lakers' value. If you nailed that right tonight, I think you're going to win a lot of money.
Moses Brown was unowned yesterday. I don't think people trusted the minutes. Maybe they thought it was an exact comp to what's his face, Ed Davis. But come on, Moses Brown, when he gets minutes, he showed it in OKC. He showed glimpses of him being Moses Malone Brown. So it's good to see him playing well here again. I just couldn't believe he got up to 50% today, a day after being 2% in the main DK tournament in the starting unit. I guess that's the difference between people seeing that he could play some minutes and people not seeing that he could play some minutes. You got to embrace some of that unknown. I think that's the lesson to really take out of it, because one day he'll be 2%, the next day he's 50. And I know it's a different tick for tat 11-game slate to a 5-game slate, but for the most part, that's absurd. Let's get to it, though. I mean, I really have nothing else to comment on this slate. I'll talk about it, as I always do, as it's ongoing here. I didn't play a ton today. Isaiah Hartenstein just started going here. This is the first time in forever I haven't played that guy, so I'm hoping he doesn't completely destroy the slate. The guy I'm frustrated with, I was getting a lot of Paul George today. 9-1-1, decent enough start, but when you compare it to some of the studs, that's probably going to be a landmine.
Yeah. I mean, Giannis is doing quite a bit of work, and Embiid might find his way to 60 plus. So yeah, we'll see what ends up going, but it's being able to nail that sub 4K value today to get these studs in there is what will take you to the top, I think.
Yeah, and Moses Brown can definitely do that. We'll be tracking.
Onyeka Okongwu is playing pretty well too.
Okongwu is playing great. Matisse Thybulle is playing great. There's some opportunity to land on him as well. Pat Connaughton was off to a nice start there in the Brooklyn game. Hit a 3. I know I was watching a little bit of that game. Hit a 3 off a Giannis assist where he just looks like he's in rhythm. Looks like he's just a guy that I generally like watching, because it's like, oh, if I were more supremely athletically gifted, this is what I would look like on a basketball floor. Just have massive Giannis just passing me the ball, knocking down 3s and 1s. It's beautiful stuff out of the closest comp that I have in the NBA to me, Pat Connaughton. It's not exactly a ringing endorsement. He sucks.
NBA champion, NBA dunk contest qualifier.
Yeah,
Pat Connaughton.
Oh, they let anybody in there based off of this year now. That's less cool than it. Well, it was cool back in the day. So Pat Connaughton, shout out to him. Also, Ryan rocking the Beats today. Can't wait to.
Yeah, not my go-to set of headphones, but
it's like somebody put like a baby headphones on little baby Ryan, and he just doesn't like them, and he's playing with them constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, the Twitter Spaces crew needs me, so here I am taking one for the team. I couldn't find my AirPods. That's why.
That's fair. Shout out to everybody in the Twitter Spaces. We've got let's see. Lord Meraki, that's a great name. John, DC, Marye, good to see you again. Larry C, hanging here out in the Twitter Spaces. Jeff, Graham, Greg, Ugly Egg Game, Donnie, Carlos, Sam, Ty Blunt. You get shout outs because you're hanging out in Twitter Spaces. We appreciate you. Shout out here on the NBA Slate Starter Podcast as we record this live, like we have been, and we will be doing throughout the rest of this NBA regular season. I know you guys are going to miss me next week. I'm going to do one show, and then, there's no NBA Monday for the national title game. I'm going to work Monday night, and then I'm going to Augusta National for the Masters. My dad and I doing a father-son trip. We don't get to see each other very often, so I'm going to enjoy it Tuesday through Saturday. I'm going to miss you guys, but also I won't because I'm going to get to watch Tiger Woods play live. Fingers crossed, everybody. I hope that news breaks tomorrow. But let's get to it. 10 games, lots to talk about, Ryan. You ready to get going? Push and pee, rocking headphones beat friend of mine.
Let's ride.
Top end, Luka Doncic, 12-1. Feel like he's been on a ton of these slates. Feel like he's a phenomenal play constantly on all of these slates. Guess what? DraftKings, he's expensive, but probably if you can afford it, get up to him. DeJounte Murray gets the Portland treatment at home. That's good treatment to get. They're going to be double-digit favorites, I'm assuming, going into that game. San Antonio playing really good ball, 11-4. He's a guy you can get to on that top end in the event that you don't have the salary to get to Luka. But because of Memphis, I'm assuming we will. Paul George, 9,500. Tyrese Halliburton coming off of a massive game against Boston. That'll be tough to land on, would be extremely contrarian. But you get all of these guys. I mean, Devin Booker, 9,300 will be contrarian. Cade Cunningham, 9K against OKC will be contrarian if he's playing on this back-to-back, which maybe they protect him, maybe they don't, maybe we get value there, or maybe it just turns into another one of these garbage games we have to have lots of interest in. But I'm going to point to Drew Holiday, Russell Westbrook. I mean, these guys are going to be like 1% owned. Russell Westbrook with Anthony Davis possibly returning. Sounds like he will try to suit up tomorrow. There's no way you're going to land on somebody like this on a back-to-back, but those are the kind of guys that on 10-game slates you might want to sprinkle into 150. Ryan, will you be doing that?
No. Tonight might be the last time Russell Westbrook enters the lineup north of 8K. I probably will be wrong about that, but I think LeBron and Anthony Davis returning will hurt Russell Westbrook a lot. Cade Cunningham headed to Oklahoma City. No. Are they at Oklahoma City or are they? They are headed to Oklahoma City.
At Oklahoma City, yeah.
His old stomping grounds nearby there, and he's up to 9K. I deserve my flowers for that. He's up to 9K. Cade Cunningham. I like going to him.
Does DraftKings send you a TV for that? Do you get an achievement unlocked for guessing Cade Cunningham to 9K? Because again, that's been your call all year, and it happened. So. Here it is.
I don't know if it's been all year. I think I said it like about
2 months ago
after the All-Star break. Yeah. But yeah, if you can jam in Luka, no issues doing so. DeJounte Murray taking on Portland. Against Portland, he can get 80 fantasy points, and I'm not kidding. They might make it to the play-in game, so it's going to be interesting to see where they end up falling. A bunch of guys are out in Memphis, and tough not to go to Melton and Dylan Brooks in significant fashion. I know it's against Phoenix. I expect them to play 30-plus minutes at the minimum. It could be up to 35-plus minutes there. Pretty shorthanded. No Tyus Jones there. No Desmond Bane. No Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, other guys around here, I think Jalen Noel is 3,400 if you're looking for a sub-4K value. Luke Kennard, taking on the Clippers, taking on Milwaukee on a back end of a back-to-back. Could be a chance where some of those guys sit. Just keep an eye on that situation. We get the Houston-Sacramento matchup, much to many people's disappointment of on the
Chagrin.
There you go. Wow. But I think some guys in the game will do really well. So keeping an eye on Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, I think will be options to pay up in tournaments for sure.
Yeah, I think that kind of covers it. It's a 10-game slate, but you're going to get some very concentrated spots. If Tyus Jones doesn't play, we're just going to play all of the Memphis guys, and that's really all there is to it. Jaren Jackson, doubtful. You're not going to get Tyus Jones more than likely. It's just not looking like you're going to want to go any other places other than D'Anthony Melton. I mean, there's nobody else to handle the ball other than him. And then Bane is doubtful as well. So it's like you're going to get Brooks, Melton. Concher is going to be a play at 3,200. We're going to talk about him throughout the slate starter. I don't know about Zaire Williams. He's 3,400. I kind of like my guys to get 25 plus fantasy points if they're 3,400. And he really doesn't have a lot of that in his system. I know it's a different circumstance absent everybody else there, but going to be hard for me to land on him as a value piece. Just wanted to fast forward a little bit to that one. Let's head over to FanDuel for tomorrow. Luke is 11-3 with point guard, shooting guard. That's way too cheap. He's going to be another guy. I mean, this is better than 10-4, so yay. But he's still way too cheap at 11-3. DeJounte Murray, 10-8 going up against Portland. Also too cheap. Identical tag to last slate on Wednesday. We get Tyrese Halliburton, 8,400. That's a lot different than the 7,600 we've been looking at. Cade Cunningham, 8,300. That seems decent, but I really like getting to Chris Paul at 8,100. And as surprising as it is, both Kevin Porter Jr. and 7,900 and Davion Mitchell, 7,300. Two of the better plays at point guard, along with Fred VanVleet, 7,300. Lots of great 7K plus guys to get to. Who are your favorites, Ryan?
Whew, thanks for taking all the thunder away from me. I just have
Shay's
no
not
one
playing. Thunder joke.
But I just think the Memphis guys just seem like awesome plays, Melton and Dylan Brooks. I know a tough Phoenix spot, but they look outstanding. Now, moving around a little bit, that price tag, I think falling on a Lonnie Walker or Keon Johnson is fine in that game. But spending up top, you got to have a ton of interest in some of these spend-up options for sure. I mean, how can you not love DeJounte Murray and Luka Doncic at their respective price tags? Saving $500 is nice. I know Luka obviously has not that much greater ceiling respective matchups, but we're just seeing what these guys are doing night in and night out. I love Cade Cunningham at 8,300. I think he's a strong option to go to. Saving another $1,000 and falling on a VanVleet looks pretty solid as well. Davion Mitchell has earned a $7,300 price tag. Shout out to Off Night. He's playing really good on both ends of the court. So really well on both ends of the court. I think looking around at the situation, I think falling on some of the Houston guys, if some of these guys are out. If Şengün is out, it's going to change some things as well. If Şengün is in, it only helps Şengün. It really limits everyone else. I don't think Green, Christopher, and Kevin Porter Jr. are appealing. But keep an eye on that Şengün piece of news. Probably, as of now, the news that I'm looking most forward to. We haven't seen Anthony Edwards do his thing. We saw him carry Eric's lineup last night. But I like going back to him sub 7K.
The FanDuel second place in the 222 that I didn't even know I had. That's honestly, that's not even something that I should have even said out loud. I felt so weird about it. It's like, it was such a bailout because I sucked in the 999 if anybody cared about that, but they don't. You get lucky sometimes because I did not have the right pieces, and just having Draymond and it just kind of had the power forward and small forward spots land the way they did. Just opened it up because I feel like I got everything else right, and that almost did it for me.
Yeah, it's all you need is one. All you need is one.
All you need is one. Dun, 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 dun. You're too young. You don't know that.
I do not.
Beatles.
No.
That's disturbing to me. Let's go to Yahoo before I throw up. DeJounte Murray's $50 there. We've got Devin Booker, 43, Paul George, 42. As we look down the list here on Yahoo, our sponsor, you get a Brandon Ingram and Jaylen Brown. I don't really know if I can be going that direction, but Brandon Ingram against his former Lakers, I always feel like that's got to be a spot. You got to bump him up. But when you get Davion Mitchell at 25 and Kevin Porter Jr. at 26, there's really no need to try to go up to some of these other guys. Teo Maledon, we haven't said his name yet, against Detroit is $19 on our sponsor site. That's probably the best play that I see up and down the entire board. At shooting guard, you get Josh Christopher, 13. He's been playing more minutes, but I think people have been overvaluing it a little bit. He's played 30 and 24. You got to think about it this way. I want to get 30, 35 fantasy points from everybody late season NBA DFS. I don't think about multipliers. I don't think about other stuff. I just think about, man, I give up a roster spot to somebody. Josh Christopher better go nuts. And he feels like he's somebody that's overowned. Do you feel the same way, Ryan?
I got to wait on the Şengün news. That's how important the Şengün news. It trickles down pretty far for me, even into JC. I don't mind sprinkling in some JC. I mean, he's $4,500 on FanDuel, but looking at the guard spot over here on Yahoo, he's fine to fall on just because of the price tag and what he helps you do. I mean, if you want to spend down a little bit more, I don't mind taking some flyers on guys like Ellaby at 10, but Krejci at 10, and DeAnthony Melton is just like tough to move off at $16. He's just outstanding at that price tag. And if you fall on a Christopher, yeah, it's not like I'm going out of my way to get to him. But if you want to spend up top, it's Cade Cunningham show, $33. I'm still going to play that guy at Oklahoma City. He might put on his best game of his career there. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, everybody. Cade Cunningham back-to-back. Smash that button. $33, I believe, is that number. There you go, Ryan. Way to go. Yeah, you called him up to 9K on DK, and you parlayed that into Yahoo. Oh, speaking of our sponsor, get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. If you are a new user, if you've not yet tried out Yahoo, first of all, what are you waiting for? But second of all, congratulations, because you're going to get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. All you have to do is deposit $10 or more, play in any paid contest you want to on the site, and you will get that free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. The Masters is next week. We have the NCAA Championship that'll be on Monday. We have the Final Four, obviously. If you want to play DFS for that, pretty decent contest, I would say, for that, starting up for Saturday. Go Dukies, by the way. Looking forward to that. You should be too. We have F1 races. We have esports. We have everything you could possibly want. Projections. If there are DFS contests in the industry for it, we have content for it. Things you will be able to actively use, tools like the Top Fighters tool in MMA, Top Golfers tool for PGA. So many great things. Check it all out. Ownership, projections. It's as good as it gets right now to be a new user at Yahoo. Plus, their site, lowest rate you're going to find anywhere. Really great contests with 5K, 10K up to first in NBA. Really great payout structures and low rake. Stop guessing, start winning. Join us here at Awesemo, but do it through our sponsor at Yahoo. Thank you so much to them for their sponsorship of the Slate Starter podcast. All right, glimpsing in on the Thursday slate as it's ongoing. Giannis up to 47. I told you, don't freak out. Also, Nicholas Batum, 24.5 at halftime. Are you effing kidding me? I actually played 2 shares on FanDuel on accident, so that's cool. But wasn't he on a 19-minute restriction or something, and now he's played 22 or 23 minutes, and now he has 24 fantasy points? The hell?
Go figure. You know the guy who's just awfully been stinking it up of late? Zach LaVine.
Yes.
He does
He's
not
hurt.
look. Yeah, he does not look good right now.
He's hurt. He's going to UCLA to get his knee looked at, and then all of a sudden he's like, nope, I'm fine. What? Just sit out. Your team's not going anywhere. I say that sadly because I thought Chicago was a sleeper team coming into this year. I looked good for 2 months, 3 months. Then I did not. Kind of sounds like Eric on Live Before Live. You know what? We're not going to go there. We're going to go to forward. We're going to keep this party in a positive place. Giannis Antetokounmpo going up against the Clippers at home. So they go from Brooklyn. They're playing there tonight. They're flying back home to Milwaukee. They do not travel on, I don't know, Spirit Airlines. They're going to be all right going back to Milwaukee on a back-to-back. If Giannis is out, we all know the drill. You play Chris Middleton, Drew. If one of the other guys rests, you play the other two, so on and so forth. But at 11-7, makes a phenomenal spend-up option. When you have Jokic, Doncic, and Giannis on the same slate, and he's $400 less than those two, I'm going to have a lot of interest going his direction. Tatum is 10-3 against Indiana. Indiana is the gift that keeps on giving. Plus, rebound rate should go up a little bit absent Robert Williams. I do expect that going forward, as does Odd Shopper. I've noticed that the rebound props have been very bullish on him. Pascal Siakam, 9,700 up against Orlando. But Kristaps Porzingis now up to 9K against his former Dallas team. Who, baby, Ryan? 9K is a pretty big tag, but are you willing to pay the freight on Kristaps tomorrow? I see you shaking your head. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. You think he doesn't have something?
Oh, no, he wants to annihilate them. He could play 38 minutes and just be like, no, you're not checking. Yeah, I'm not checking out.
Yeah, I mean, it's Porzingis. I mean, him and Luka, obviously, everyone thought I was just a match made in heaven, right? It looked like an ideal fit on paper. And there were times where they looked amazing together.
Porzingis doesn't want to play the pick and roll. He doesn't want to play the pick and roll where he's not the number one option.
I don't think he wants to play the 5. If he wanted to play the 5.
That's what I'm getting at, is that he doesn't want to play the 5, and when he plays the pick and roll, he wants to be the primary option. And I saw a number where it was 70-something% of the time it resulted in a Luka Doncic shot attempt.
Yeah, and it just didn't work out. Clearly, some ego played a role there. But yeah, I love Porzingis tomorrow. I've been playing him a lot of late, and I'll be going back to no questions about it. But With that being said, it's tough to not like the Memphis guys. Brandon Clark is 4K. Dylan Brooks yet again. So it's a 10-game slate, I know, but they're significantly shorthanded. Man, if this Memphis team beats Phoenix tomorrow, I'm just going to lose my mind. But
I mean, we're going to play 4 pieces from Memphis in every lineup tomorrow, right?
No
Adams. No Adams. So the doubtful people, if you're keeping track at home, Adams, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyus Jones, and there's one more, Desmond Bane. All doubtful.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, I mean, 4 could definitely work out. Probably on a 10-game slate. It can definitely work out. It just proceed with caution because 4 is a lot. When there's 19 other teams on the slate,
True.
Someone can easily crack through. Someone can get foul trouble in Memphis. We might get a fluky rotation. A lot of things can go wrong when 4. You just need they're not going to play 6 bodies. I don't think they'll have other players. They have Tillman. They'll have maybe Santi Aldama there.
He'll definitely play. I mean, Aldama's going to have to play considerable minutes if Kyle Anderson. Otherwise, Kyle Anderson's going to play 36, which would be absurd.
Or we all get screwed by Taylor Jenkins and he just rolls out 30 minutes for everybody. That could happen.
Is Jarrett Culver still alive? Yeah, he's still alive. Jarrett Culver might play a lot.
Yeah,
that would be the nut low. Shout out Jarrett Culver. One of the guys I absolutely got wrong. I saw him play in the Final Four in Minneapolis, and I was like, oh, this kid's special. He gets drafted by my Timberwolves. I'm like, oh, this is so great. He's freaking terrible. He's really bad. It helps to be good at shooting in the NBA. And I believe he's 25% from 3 this season. 39% from the field is like a 6'8", 6'9" wing. That ain't going to do it, kids. That ain't going to do it.
No, that's rough. And speaking about rough, Karis LeVert, down 19, just cracked 20 fantasy points. Oh, that is unfortunate. I liked him on today's slate, but we shall see how that ends up panning out down the stretch here. Giannis doing his thing, but looking at the other, forwards here, you have to spend up. LeBron's back. Giannis is back. LeBron needs to win. They're in must-win zone. And tomorrow's Lakers game is the biggest game of the season because they take on the Pelicans for massive seeding implications. I don't know who has the tiebreaker, but once you're getting both Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that is they are playing this game as a must-win game. We might see these guys just play like a game 7.
Zion, please suit up. It would be the most ridiculous thing of all time. There's no way in hell, but that would be the greatest thing ever. He's like, oh, I was dunking on what's his face, Corey Brewer, and I got a lot of confidence. I decided I'd play 18 minutes tonight.
Yeah. So the Zion is, we'll see him someday, maybe a future Knick or a future Grizzly.
I don't know. Something tells me he gets moved in the offseason, but continue.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, Nostra Lindquist. There it is.
But other guys in the forward spot, I mean, OKC, we already got Trey Mann out. They're going to be shorthanded yet again. And it's a Detroit spot. I know they're all priced up a bit more, but it's a better matchup. And things can definitely go their way. They might come in a little bit lower owned, and they might have super ceiling performances. But that's really about it. It's the Memphis show across the board, really.
Well, back to FanDuel we go, where I normally start on the top end. I usually just list off the guys because it really gets us in a good flow, allows us to really kind of break it down. But the most frustrating thing on planet Earth, my friend, is the fact that we have KJ Martin and Jayshawn Tate. Not only did their prices basically not change, but Jayshawn Tate went from 4,100 to 4K. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, it is just absolutely madness that you're getting a 4K Jayshawn Tate and a 3,900 KJ Martin on this exact same slate. Plus Usman Garuba, 3,500. We did see him play 25 minutes. I mean, if he's the flat min, how do we not go back to the well on all these Houston guys tomorrow?
You don't have to if Alfred and Şengün plays.
Well, that would be lovely, but Jayshawn Tate is still massively in play at 4K.
Yeah, he's definitely in play at 4K. Do you play 4K for Jayshawn Tate or 4,400 for Brandon Clark? I know one has
question, play both.
I don't think you need to play both, but I still like Jayshawn Tate quite a bit on the slate. I think we might get him at lower ownership. Kyle Anderson also $4,200. So you have to mix and match a decent amount. I think Şengün looks amazing at 5,700 if he's going to go. Isaiah Stewart's going to play a ton of minutes if there's no Marvin Bagley, as Bagley's been ruled out for the rest of the game. Looking around here, Pokashevsky's in play at 6,200 for sure. Will Harrison Barnes have a game? And why not? Why not at $5,300? It's a Houston spot. I don't mind falling on a guy like him. But there's enough value to jam in a Giannis, a PG if these guys go. Even a Jason Tatum against Indiana, he can get there in 3 quarters. So keep an eye on that situation. And you got to have some interest in potentially going to Jaylen Brown as well as $7,800 against Indy. Against Indy is just what gets you going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you just crack open a beer? Like what is happening? That was a spritzer water, wasn't it? Like a seltzer water. Okay, whatever. Good for you. Happy Friday, everybody. Well, not quite Thursday night, but you know what I'm getting at when you listen to this. More than likely Friday. Other than the people in Twitter Spaces, shout out D, John, Magic. That's cool. Pop and Pop. We got Carlos Carlin back in the house. Good to see you, Scott. Larry C still hanging out. Rory Sr., Desi. Lots of other people joining the fray. Lots of familiar faces. We love hanging out with you guys in Twitter Spaces. Going to take questions afterwards. Tilt. Talk through tomorrow's slate. Questions for Showdown before Ryan and I dip out to go make those lineups. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So much fun these last few days and, last 2 weeks now. We've got Giannis, 11-8 up there on top of FanDuel. I mean, we've got Brandon Ingram, 8,600. He's overpriced there compared to DK. Not really looking at it there. You can play Kevin Porter at small forward. That's very, very useful. Anthony Edwards came a little bit back to life. That was good to see some signs of life from him. 42.6 the other night. Still in play at 6,800, but as you said before, I think we're going to be paying down a lot. Dylan Brooks, 5,700. If you're going to get Marvin Bagley out, Sadiq Bey is 5,600. We've got the likes of Taylor Horton-Tucker, who got priced up to 4,600. I think FanDuel thinks the same thing I think. Did we get a Lakers starting lineup yet?
I have not checked, no.
All right, well, sure. I'm assuming he's starting here. He will completely be out of play for me with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, but today it's good to take advantage of it if you can. And a power forward, we're kind of looking at the same conundrum there where Brandon Clark, Chuma, Kiki, both kind of in that wheelhouse. Kylie Anderson, Xavier Tillman, 42 and 4,300 respectively. That is the FanDuel forward spot. Let's head to Yahoo. Giannis, 57 at the top end. Jason Tatum, 43. Chris Middleton, big dip down to 32. I played him a lot on Yahoo tonight. I'm thinking that's going to work out. Based on what we're seeing here right now, he's got 35. That's good enough for me at the moment. Clint Capella continuing to just go nuts for you. But what sticks out to you on the Yahoo forward slate?
The Yahoo forward slate for tomorrow. If you can get up to guys like Tatum, that looks fine at $43. Looks really good. But then you get the deal with the Memphis guys at the bottom. Kyle Anderson. He looks pretty awesome at $12. I think you can definitely, I don't mind playing a $10 Zaire Williams. Would you rather play Zaire Williams or KJ Martin?
Oh, God. I mean, that's like asking me the rope or the belt. Do I want to get whipped by what? Oh, what? Boy. Isn't that from, what is that from? Good Will Hunting. It's where he's just like, I'm going to find the exact quote. So you know what I'm talking about. It's just like the belt or the whip or whatever it is. He's like asking which of the options, and he picks the belt. He goes, why'd you pick the belt? Because screw him.
Gotcha. I didn't know you were into S&M, but that's neither there. But that's what I was like, yo. But looking down here, Kelly Olynyk, $11, I think, against Oklahoma City. He can get it done. Chimezie Metu's also 10. Keep an eye on the situation over there. You're muted on Spaces. I think you know that probably.
I do. Yeah, I just was. He used to just put out a belt, a stick, and a wrench on the kitchen table and say, choose. Well, I got to go with the belt there. I would choose the wrench. Why? Because screw him. A wrench is a pretty bold choice.
Yeah, but forward spot, I think Anthony Edwards also 28. Keep an eye. Milwaukee on the back end of a back-to-back. In terms of seeding, this is a big game. It's a big game for Brooklyn, not as big of a game for Milwaukee. There's still a chance for them to get the 1 seed. Detroit is currently beating Philly, which is like, I'm sure they're looking at the scoreboard right now and like, oh, we might be able to steal a game on Philly at the moment. But just there's a lot of standing implications that I do play into a factor in these games. But Al Horford, $21 against Indianapolis, I think is so they're not Indianapolis, they're Indiana. But I think Al Horford at $21 against Indy can definitely get it done.
Yeah, looking at right now, Moses Brown, just the chalk that smashes today. 3:40 left in the third quarter. He's up to 26.5. Hope you played him on DK. I didn't play a lot over there today. He would have been the absolute jam of the century. I just have the 3 lineups. He's in them. Hopefully one of them can be good. Ryan, my friend, let's head over to DraftKings and talk center for tomorrow's slate. 10-gamer. Good to be chatting with all of you guys once again. Twitter Spaces, stick around. Looking forward to it. Smash that like button and subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube as well. Can't tell you how much we appreciate that, how much that helps Ryan and myself. Not to look cool or anything. We don't care about that, but we want to support this community. 75,000 subs talking DFS on the daily now, hanging out. It's so cool to see, and we love having you here. Nikola Jokic is 12-5 against my Minnesota Timberwolves. It's a weird thing to say. I'm not being super possessive, but they're my Minnesota Timberwolves. And A-Rods, I suppose, if we talk about it in that regard. Karl Anthony Towns is 9,600 on the other side of that game. We're getting close. So there was like a $1,500, $2,000 gap, and I was still very clearly in Jokic camp. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns 9,600 has to at least be discussed here. Your boy Anthony Davis is all hands on deck, but I don't know how. This is not a Paul George situation. This is a 10-game slate where I'm paying $8,900 for Anthony Davis. If he was like $7,900, $6,900, something like that, I could do it. But Ryan, are you going to stand out for your boy? Because Anthony Davis is your boy. Are you going to click that button tomorrow?
I can't do it.
You had to think about it, which is disgusting enough.
Talk to me tomorrow, 10 minutes before lock, and here I come with Anthony Davis in a train. But it's Tillman and Clark. I mean, those guys do a lot for you on a 10-game slate. Helps you jam in Jokic on another spot. Porzingis is there as well. Cat on the other side. Şengün is there. It's not that necessary to go to my guy Anthony Davis.
I got one other guy. Bruno Fernando played 22 minutes. Can we play Bruno Fernando as a pivot off the massive Xavier Tillman chalk if he's starting there? You get 3,500 for Bruno Fernando. I will say it's pretty easy to pivot. If Garuba's 3,600. He's power forward eligible. That makes it like somewhat appealing to even look at. I know you think that he's like this low fantasy point per minute player based off his Real Madrid stats. Again, you're a sick person. But I think that there's at least hope for him to showed some double promise. He's playing the 5. I don't completely hate it, but I would really like Bruno Fernando to start instead.
If in that case, why would you want him to start?
It's true. I'll probably just play him anyway.
Yeah. I hope Şengün plays so I can just play Şengün and wouldn't have to worry about Garuba or Fernando. Look, Garuba's a very, very solid defensive talent. There is very limited offensive game to him. And it'll take some time. He's a project. Maybe next year when he's towards the min, I'll be playing him. But I don't think this year is the way to go. But hey, I mean, Tillman and Clark, like I said, and those guys just seem better. Now, how much Damian Jones is too much Damian Jones tomorrow for you?
I don't even want to talk about it.
We have to.
He's going to be super chalky, but I know it's just he's 5,500 against Houston. You have to play tons of him. He played 34 minutes. I don't think he can possibly. I mean, he had a point. You said it yourself, a 0.1% type outcome for him. And I'm a Damian Jones stan. I love this guy. I love watching him. I think he's a phenomenal fantasy point per minute producer. I think there were just so many roadblocks, whether it was Marvin Bagley from time to time, whether it was Rashawn Holmes. These guys are just problems to him, and now they've been removed, and yet the minutes just weren't there until the day that I hit eject because out of the middle of nowhere, Alex Len gets ruled in, which made me think he was going to go back to those mid-20s minutes. Now, Is it very likely that you just out of the middle of nowhere get mid-20s minutes again from him and he only puts up 28? Yes, it's very much in play. I'm going to be extremely sensitive to his ownership. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play him.
Okay, that's cool. Let's head to FanDuel.
Why should
I don't think I'm going to play him.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I don't think I will. Well, I mean,
Jokic is 11-6 on FanDuel. We've got Jonas Valanciunas 8,300. Cat is 8,500 on FanDuel.com. Way to go. Good job. Good effort, guys. Jakob Poeltl, 7,400 against Portland. Gets to face his former teammate Drew Eubanks in a fantasy showdown. That's ridiculous, but whatever. Isaiah Roby's up to 7K. I'm probably good there. DeAndre Ayton 6,800. That has to be talked about, especially against this Memphis front court. Although I did just see the point spread. I was curious what this spread was going to open at for Memphis. Can you guess what the spread is for this Memphis game
right now?
Yes.
9.5.
It is only 6.5.
Interesting.
That I had the same reaction. I cannot believe that Phoenix, the best record in the NBA, is only 6.5 point favorites with 4. Well, actually, their starting 5 is going to basically be out, including Tyus Jones. What are we doing here? How do we not just run to BetMGM, which is where I'm looking at, and just slam the house on 6.5? We have to do it, right?
Non-zero chance the Phoenix Suns might sit someone tomorrow. Right?
So true.
I mean, they have locked up the
nothing
1 seed.
To play for.
They got their number 1. They broke franchise record.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they need to do? Why can't they play Alfred Payton, Aaron Holiday, Landry Shamet, Ish Wainwright, and Bismack Biyombo as their starting 5 tomorrow? Just to be like, hey,
screw it.
You think you guys are good? We've been good all year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, unlikely that happens. I think Chris Paul did say him, Booker, and Ayton have not played many games together as a 3, all 3 of them all being healthy together this season. So maybe sometime next week they start resting a little bit. I mean, it would shock me if they don't at least suit up and play. So I'm just saying some hypothetical reasons.
Right. But it's weird to think about. Give me some of your plays at center.
Yeah, looking at the FanDuel center, I mean, you can definitely spend up to Nikola Jokic. 11-6 is too cheap. This is another massive game for seeding implications. Denver, Minnesota. Minnesota is trying to avoid this play-in game. Denver's trying to avoid to fall into the play-in game. So big game for these guys, as Minnesota is currently 7 and Denver is 6. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but if
correct.
That makes a lot of sense to fall on. I like Jakob Poeltl quite a bit. If there is no Bagley, we might get Kelly O minutes up into the mid-20s, if not high 20s, tomorrow against Oklahoma City. Isaiah Stewart is there, Beef Stew in the building. I think looking at other guys around here, I don't think keep an eye on the Brook Lopez situation. We might get Bobby Portis unleashed for tomorrow with Lopez obviously coming back from an extended absence.
All right.
But that's really about it. Shout out to Scott Hastings for giving us that Jermichael Green tidbit for us NBA DFS guys.
I like it. Oh, dude, that was one of the greater videos I've seen on the old Instagram.com. Couldn't stop laughing. And I'm just like, it's as simple as that. Hey, Jermichael, you playing? Head shake. No, he's not playing. It was perfectly delivered. Let's head to Yahoo and round it out here. We went a little long, but 10 gamer, that's going to happen. Jokic, $56. We've got Anthony Davis, 47. No thanks. Karl Anthony Towns, 37. Wowzer. You're getting a $19 discount going there. That looks great. But then also, Drew Eubanks is $24. I know that they have some other guys in town there now. The minutes went down to around 31.5, but I think that's kind of what I would expect from going forward. That's cheap enough there. We could get Isaiah Stewart if you get no Marvin Bagley tomorrow after him not returning here on this back-to-back. Maybe that's a play. But Damian Jones is going to be crazy popular at 14. Brandon Clark is going to be crazy popular at 13. I don't think I want to play Bruno Fernando in any capacity over those guys, but I mean, just fire those guys up in bulk, right?
I think so. I mean, makes a lot of sense. And Şengün goes. I mean, I think probably my favorite play on the slate at 21. But We're not sure what's going to happen there. Clark looks great. Helps you just jamming the guys up top. Cat is only 37. Wow. That's really cheap for Cat. And Jokic on the other side of things. These guys look all great. Tough not to love these guys in significant fashion. Keep an eye on the Indiana situation. Goga and Isaiah Jackson are both questionable. So who knows what's going to happen in the Pacers front court.
All right. Well, Drummond's up to 22. That's not good enough here. He's on the floor. Maybe he closes out this game again. I'd be kind of surprised by that. I know they were talking about that on the Live Before Lock show. Caught a little bit of that. Make sure you catch it tomorrow. Greg, myself, will be hanging out. But most importantly, we're going to be in Twitter Spaces here again next week. I will only be here for Monday night. There's no Monday basketball, so there will be no Slate Starter until Monday night. It'll be my one day, and then I will be heading off to Augusta, Georgia. Looking forward to checking out a little golf and a little Tiger Woods in my life. It'll be nice to have a little time off. But Ryan, he's going to keep the grind going. Any final words for the people?
Yes, we do have an Awesemo NBA Slate Starter exclusive Yahoo Fantasy contest for tomorrow.
Just came through. Woo! Let's do it. I'm going to post the link in the YouTube bio. That's going to be perfect.
Yes, and another important piece of news. This will be my last Slate Starter for the site. It's been a fun run. I've really appreciated everyone's support over the years, but all good things do come to an end, and March 31st was the scheduled last date for me to do the Slate Starter. And on that note, April Fools, everybody. You'll catch me next week.
He's right. He's an idiot. I'm Eric. I'm not. We'll see you guys later.